You
Hey,
there?
what's going on, Rick? I'm here. How are you?
Good man. You got just me without Zach. So be gentle on me.
Awesome.
What's going on?
Well, I appreciate your time today, Rick.
No problem, man.
Not
What's up?
much. I had a quick question. So I was doing some cold calling today, and I came across a seller who has a piece of property, and it has a mobile home on it. So it's the mobile home for sale and the lot, of course. The mobile home is pretty much unlivable.
Okay.
My question is, so I looked it up on PropStream, and the lot is owned by the guy I was talking to. His name is William,
Hmm.
and the mobile home is actually owned by somebody else. I think it may be his mom. He mentioned his mom used to own it, but she had passed away. So
Okay.
my question is, if I were to wholesale that, how would it work with the mobile home? Like, would I have to get the title with the mobile home, or is it connected, or how would that work?
So I deal with this a lot in Florida, like a lot. Only because in the last few years, I never even looked at a mobile home before. I actually thought they were annoying.
Uh,
And with the cost of rentals going through the roof, we got out ahead of the curve and just bought as many like I didn't even, I told him, I go, if you can buy it under 40 grand, buy it. Like
uh,
my only stipulation was they had to own the land underneath of it. So you have
right.
that one. So
I've
you
heard you
say
say that before.
so the mobile home is it's just I mean, is it just dirty or is it just shot?
It's a single wide, 3 bedroom, 2 bath. It's not shot. It's just older, so it
Okay.
would need a lot of work to bring it up to par.
So um the neat thing about mobile homes is now I'm speaking from the state of Florida because I haven't done one outside the state of Florida other than like a
Uh huh.
mobile home park, which I transacted on and then instantly sold. But
Right.
the land is just how you do regular real estate. So I don't need to tell you how that works. Okay.
Uh huh.
The trailer is usually a DMV issue. So it's going to have, it would sell just like it sells a car. Okay.
Okay, like registration and
Yeah. Yeah. No, it
like
actually,
titling.
yeah, it's, you're, I got fined on this. So I've owned one for like 4 years and I got a letter from the DMV saying I didn't register it. And I'm just like, I had to pay back all these back. It wasn't a big deal, but I'm just like, I'm clueless. I didn't even know where to find the dang thing. So they're usually checking your state and see if that's it. Your bigger problem is the person that owned the mobile home has passed away. Now, the good news is most people buy mobile homes, they just pay cash for it. They don't care. Like most people buy mobile homes, unless you're going to make a stink to the state, they don't care. The only time that becomes an issue is when you have to do any type of permitting for like sewage, water lines, and stuff like that. That can be a little bit problematic. So,
Okay, it's already
uh,
all hooked up. So
yeah. So, what
if
kind of price points you talking about there? I'm just
well,
curious.
the piece of property is right on. It's called Murrells Inlet. I live on the beach over here in Myrtle Beach. Murrells Inlet. It's right on like an inlet. So the
Okay.
property is like $250,000, and the mobile home is like probably worth like 20,000, if that. So
Okay.
it may even just be a tear down. It probably is a tear down or haul off. I was just curious, like if the new buyers were to have to haul it off, like would they need the title for it to scrap it, or like just
They probably won't get much money for it other than scrap metal because you can't.
okay?
It's like if you have an old car and it's like abandoned.
Uh
I
huh.
have to deal with that a lot over by the lot I'm at. After X amount of days abandoned, a tower will pick it up. He's got to store it on the lot for like 60 or 90 days, and then they just crush it down for like once there's no
Okay.
owner. No, the liability is on like if you take the mobile home up and somebody shows up and go, "Hey, where's my mobile home?" I'll go, "Well, I took it and I sold it." I'm like, no, wait a minute. If you don't think there's a claim to it,
Yeah, there isn't. There
you know
definitely
what I'm
isn't.
saying? It's like, is it like how much? And so in the state of Florida, although the numbers have really increased, to replace a mobile home is like 65 grand. Like I look at my worst case scenario. If that, so I bought one that was 28 years old. I was like, oh, it looked terrible. And my guy goes, I can fix it up. I go, listen, I'll give you 3 grand to fix it up. After that, I'm just going to haul it out there and back a new one in. It's going to be cheaper because you're going to
Right.
50 grand to do it. So,
Better off.
uh, so have you? can you get, have they discussed the cost of like what you can pick it up for? Like I get it. The mobile home's not worth a lot. It's the lot that's worth it. So is there
Right.
any room or motivation to give you a decent deal on that?
Well, I just got in contact with this seller today, and I told him I would. He actually agreed that he would meet me when he comes. He lives like an hour away, so he's going to meet
Yeah.
me there. He comes every so often to cut the grass. So
Yeah.
in about 2 weeks, I'm going to go meet him when he goes to cut the grass. The only clue he gave me as to price is that the assessor, the tax assessed value is 300,000. But I'm looking at comps, and the comps are like between 4 and 500,000 in that area, and that's just vacant land. That doesn't
Yeah.
include a house or anything.
You
So
sh- you so correct me if I'm wrong. You should have a high demand for like a property like that near the water, right?
there is, yeah,
So,
there is.
so just get the best deal you can. And the beauty about like private, like you got a lot of flexibility when to close it because you can say, listen, I got to research the trailer. You
Uh
got
huh.
a couple unknowns there, and you need to do as much work. And then the biggest risk you're going to run in this, Jason, is if you tell the wrong person about it before you have it under contract, you will be sniped by a very sharp builder. That property is the best to sell to a builder or someone who's wealthy that wants to build a dream house there
Right,
because
that's what it
sky's
is.
the limit. And then I would take that trailer, I'd put it on Craigslist, and the first person that wrote you like showed up with a wad of bills, just let them haul it out
Uh
of there. Don't touch it. Someone will, if they can revamp that trailer, just let them deal with it. Like who cares, right?
Yeah, but I
Or
wouldn't be able to list it if I don't own it. If I'm assigning it, I can't list the trailer for whoever
listen,
wants it to come
if
get it.
it's if your seller's okay with it, you can do whatever you want. Like with
Oh, okay. If the
the
seller,
trailer.
yeah,
One of the other techniques you can do if the guy will give you a dynamite price if you want, like I mean, like say he gives it to you for like a buck 50, like some crazy number.
uh huh,
Just say, listen, I tell you what, I'll help you out too. I'll sell the trailer. Just give it. I'll put the proceeds towards your deal. If
yeah,
it's tighter, you need to take over the trailer. Your worst case scenario is somebody hooks it up and just hauls it away.
right,
I wouldn't spend any effort on it because remember, you got to cap off the utilities and you got to be careful about it.
yeah,
And you got
true.
to mark them in the ground, and then hopefully, I believe the utilities would be a little bit different setup. But dude, land deals, guys. When you got land deals, they're so clean, and this one will buy you enough time. If you had to find a buyer in 60 or 90 days, you have all. He's not living on the property. He doesn't care.
Yeah,
You
it's
need to enter
vacant.
into
Yeah,
a simple agreement with him, and then just run the title, and so he's the individual owner on
he's
that
the
land.
individual owner. Yeah, yes, he is.
Okay, so just make sure they run title on it, and for anybody who's like, I don't want to do mobile homes, I'm telling you, let me give you an example. I bought a set of 4 mobile homes. I thought I overpaid for them, but the only reason I bought them is because Amazon opened up their distribution center next to it,
I
and
heard you tell the story.
I kept getting blocked with traffic. I said, Zach, he goes, Zach goes, you're crazy. I go, I'm telling you, I see money, and we went and bought them. Each one of those trailers rents for $1,200 now. $1,200. So one I
Yeah,
paid
I heard
10,
you
the
tell
other
that
paid I
story. That's
20, and the one
amazing.
of them I paid up to 40. And like we're looking to pay off our entire investment in like a year and a half.
That
And
is
then it's
so
all
cool.
pure cash flow. So I was very shut down to it. I wasn't open to it. And then my aha moment was when I was sitting in traffic behind 60 prime trucks. I go, what the hell's over here? And Zach goes, it's the Amazon distribution center. I go, let's go. I know where 2 mobile home parks are right down the street. And we just went, dude, we went door to door. So like when I tell people like I can't get deals, I can't do that. Guys, driving for dollars is extremely underrated. It works very well. And sometimes if you have to get a deal, just get in your car and go get it. I knew once word got on the street, and by the way, half the sellers already knew what the value of their mobile homes are. The other didn't. And I just moved with record speed. And by the way, I should have bought 25 of them. I only bought 4 of them. I just wasn't thinking bigger. And I want you to learn with it. Dude, land,
At
dude,
least you got the four.
yeah, it's a golden opportunity. I love like land like that. That's like primo stuff, man. And
Yeah,
then
it's in
I
a
saw,
great location too.
and he probably owns it outright too.
He does. He grew
So,
up in the house. Yep.
so one of the other ideas you can do too, so just a little more advanced strategy, but sometimes like crazy stuff, like you look at your own investments, like, okay, if I own this piece of land and I sat on it like for 5 years, or maybe I partnered up with a builder, you could then I go, listen, here's the deal. You build the house, I get 5% of the proceed. I get 5% of the final sales price of the house. Plus,
Yeah, you go ahead.
um, plus you sell them the land for like 50 or 100 grand more than you paid for it. Like, it's unlimited. So, hey, how do I do that? You could structure an owner financing with the deal, because most people in land like that, they own it outright.
Right.
And you go, listen,
And it's an acre, which is
yeah.
a pretty good
And
size.
you can say, hey, Mr. Seller, I have some money coming to me from some other properties. If you could just give me seller financing for 12 to 18 months or 2 years and come up with like a small downstroke, dude, your options are unlimited what you can do with that property. You can find the highest and best use for it and go, well, Rick, well, if I have to give him 20 or 30 grand, dude, it's not your money. Like, go get it from somebody else. And who cares if he charges 10, 12, 15%? If
Right.
that property sells at like $1.5 million with an incredible house built on it, you'll have to do your research on it. And you got a big piece of that and the profit spread. You could potentially make hundreds of thousands of dollars. But once again, that's the beauty of wholesaling, is you customize it to your situation. If you're struggling
There's
to pay your
options.
rent and there's no food in your fridge, get rid of it as fast as you can and get your family right. If you have the luxury, like, look at some of your other investments and go, because those properties, they are so far and few between. Let me give an example. I had the chance to buy the property next door to me. So I'm in a marina based community, and I just I was too shallow. So the guy asked um, 950 grand for it. Just like, I was like, man, you're like, how do you come up with that number? Well, the dang thing just sold for $4 million. It
Oh
took
my
2 years to
goodness.
do, but $4 million, and I didn't have the work. I like, how am I going to come up? Like, I don't want to spend 900 grand on my own. Like, it wasn't my own money, and he was willing to cut a deal with it. It was just, it was going to be taxing on how to take it down. So now I've reassessed on how I can take properties down, and now I'm prepared, because I'm doing a big transaction just down the road, and I'm like, it's 5 times the price. I'm like, okay, I see the handwriting on the wall. So
Mm.
I minimize my risk, but what you love about this business is you can cater it to your own deal. If you need money right away, you know what to do with it. You know, short-term money, and then like a long-term play. If you could participate with a builder, have him front you like 50 grand, you take 30 grand and give it to your seller, and then create a note. He has to pay on it, not you. You take a $20,000 and put it in your pocket as your, so you can keep your marketing rolling. And then you got a first lien position on the property, and he sells it in 2 years for like $2-3 million. And you just
Oh
have an
man, that would
agreement
be
for it,
awesome.
but you don't do any work. Like, that's the
Right.
beauty. And this is how you guys have to think about real estate. There's so many plays you can do with it. It's endless. Give you an example. I bought back in early 08, 09, I bought a property on the water, 10,000 square feet. Um, it had a $3 million mortgage. I bought it for 300 grand. And it just, I did not have the wherewithal to wear it out, because I couldn't, the bills kept mounting on it. Well, that property, 300 grand, it sold for 20 times the price 5 years later. And I took $100,000 payoff, and that guy made 10 times the return on me. So,
Well,
yep.
hindsight is 2020. It's always 2020.
Yeah, I know. So just find out, get it under contract, meet with him, and then just, you need to do a ton of intel. You don't need to overanalyze, but like, see what a new house is going per square foot in that area, the type of houses they're building,
A
and
lot.
look at those builders, and do not talk to a builder or anyone until you have an agreement in place.
Yeah, I
Because
learned that lesson already. I
yeah,
learned that lesson
they're gonna
already.
snipe you out. So we went over that with one. So guys, so you know, Jason comes on here on like a weekly basis, and he's very humble. He takes advice, and he's made some mistakes, and he learns going forward. You're never going to do this business without making mistakes. Yeah, I talking to Joel before. He's like, you're so concerned about, not Joel specifically, but if you're concerned about making a mistake, don't do wholesaling, because you're going to fail somewhat at it. But you fail forward and keep making progress, and you learn. That's how life works, dude. Like, think about any skill set you have, Jason. Did it just come naturally? Like,
Oh
if you
no.
played baseball or football or anything like that, it's like, I'm terrible to go fishing with. Like, I enjoy family and friends, but like, um, I have some older guys in my marina, and they're like, Rick, you always come back with big dolphin, tuna. You catch all the sailfish in the world. Like we've gone on 10 trips. Like we have nothing but sharks. So I made the mistake of riding with them this previous Monday. And it was one of those pain. Like I was like, man, you guys are doing everything wrong. They go, well, Rick, we do exactly what you do. I go, no, you don't. You're missing the last 10%. And that 10%'s the difference between catching fish and not. And it's the same thing in wholesaling. It's just, you figured out that deal. You got a little conservative. Somebody beat you to the punch. But I promise you, you'll never make that mistake, Jason.
No, I
and
won't.
That skill set, remember, you failed at it, but that failure will make you the most amount of money in the long term. And that's how it works. If everything was gravy, you just throw contracts on everything. I thought I was king of wholesaling in 2006. Literally, I was making so much money. I don't need to tell you guys what happened. I got caught with 12 properties and the rug got pulled out from underneath me. And I got humbled real quick. I had to start over. And that's how I started flipping short sales. And then I always wholesaled, but man, it was like I was begging buyers to buy it. And I learned that you have to prepare for winter. Even when you're having the fruits of summer and spring, you have to prepare for it. So
yeah, absolutely.
You're on the right path. Just think really big with this property and just work with your seller. You will probably have a more advanced seller that's had that property for a while. So he's not going to be a fool. So just, you got to kind of get in his head, Jason, and see where he's thinking. So you already have the assessed value, and then just, okay. And just find out what he thinks the property's worth. So I always tell people, you want to know what your seller's thinking, just go to Zillow, other than vacant land. That's a lot more challenging.
It's not listed on Zillow.
So
just
build amazing rapport with them, and it might take more than one conversation. And people like, do you like land? I go, I love land because it's easier. It just, you don't have tenants on it. You don't have like a bunch of liens on it, crazy stuff. It's just really easy to move, and you have a huge flexibility, and you don't have to worry about dragging your buyers through it, right? You don't.
Right.
You never have to deal with that objection ever. And so the only problem I've ever had with vacant land here in Central Florida, more than South Florida, that we have this thing called gopher tortoises. And if they're on the property,
they're protected.
Yeah. So then you have to have them professionally relocated. And they charge you per turtle. It's like an obscene amount of money. I'm just like,
oh my God.
Like, Zach, throw the turtle in the back of the truck. And like, I don't do that anymore, because if you get caught, it's like a $25,000 fine and you go to jail.
Oh my God.
Because like you and me would say, just throw the turtle back in the truck. We'll put a soft blanket. I'll hold them.
Bring it to the woods or somewhere. Yeah.
But if you get caught, you actually go to jail and you get a $25,000 lien imposed on you by the federal government. So I'm like,
oh my gosh.
So
they don't have the turtles are protected here, but not like that. Man.
So what investors and like I've seen realtors do it, like they chase the turtle away, like go away. And these turtles are like really slow, but like that's like when you see the turtles, they're like, that's the first people. Are there any gopher tortoises? I'm like, I don't think so. But they build these big holes, and they actually beat up the land, but they're slow. They're kind of like manatees. Like guys, I love animals. Like I love animals, but
me too.
Manatees are just not designed for modern day, the way we run human lives. It's between the pollution, everything. Like, I'm not getting in the whole wildlife thing, but it's like sometimes evolution that's why the dinosaurs didn't make it. It's like, I don't even know how they did. They talk about like this big combustion fire, but but then you got like crocodiles and like strange fish that still look like old reptilians, and they survive
like dinosaurs, right?
Exactly. So.
But okay, Rick, anyways, I'll be happy to. I mean, honestly, I think I'm just going to sign this one, but I'm not going to jump the gun. I don't even know.
Well, see what the seller dictates you can do. And I think, but like, I tell you, like on this side of Florida, like there's any type of waterfront property. We typically would have bought them for like in the $300,000 range, a lot like, and now they're all going for $1 million. In 2 years. And that's why I'm just telling you, look at the potential.
It may be like that here. Yeah.
If nothing's left, I promise you can get someone to financially support you to get through it. Yes, it's going to cost money, but the end game is incredible. If you get somebody else to fund it, great. If not, like look around, but you got to back the numbers up with it. So let me know how it works out. Anything else going on?
Nope. That's it right now. Just doing cold calling. So, but, Rick, I appreciate your time. Thanks again, man.
No, you got it, bud. Okay, update me. Let me know as soon as you get a deal with it, okay?
I will do. Have a good night, Rick.
Okay,
Thanks
buddy.
again.
See ya later. Okay, guys.